What's up YouTube? Welcome to your first tutorial on intermediate Java. I'm Shorish and I'm going to be making this video series for you on Anirudh's behalf. So, in this tutorial I'm going to teach you how to make a blank window. Now I know it doesn't sound much, but trust me, it's going to become way better in the following videos. But first of all, I want to make some things clear. For these tutorials, you need to have a basic knowledge of Java. So if you don't, make sure you watch Anirudh's beginner tutorials first. Also, if there's something that I don't cover, and even Anirudh hasn't covered, feel free to write a comment below and I will inform Anirudh to incorporate it in the beginner series. So, let's begin. Now as you can see, I've already created the basic outline for the program we're gonna create today, so I have the class and the main method already created. Now a window in Java is predefined in the libraries, and it is done so by the JFrame class. Now the JFrame class is present in the javax.swing package, so we are going to go ahead and import it. So import javax.swing. And this will allow us to create an object of JFrame in the main method. So we'll do that as well. JFrame object is equal to new JFrame. And in the constructor we can pass the title of this screen we are going to create. So we'll pass this is a new window and put some exclamation marks to make that look a bit cooler. Now we need to define the different parts of the window we just created. Now the first thing that comes to my mind when I create a frame is what the size of the frame is going to be. And there's a function for doing exactly this. It's called setSize. So write object.setSize, and it accepts two parameters, that is the length and breadth of the screen size in pixels. So it's going to be 500 pixels in length by 300 pixels in width. You can set it to anything you want to. Next we're going to decide where exactly is it going to appear on the screen. Now if we don't write anything, it's going to appear at the top left corner of the screen. But I want to make it appear exactly at the center of the screen, so I'm going to write a function object dot set location relative to, and we're going to pass null to it. And this null tells the program that it's going to be at the center of the screen exactly. Rather, it tells the function, not the program. Next what we're going to do is we're going to define what will happen if we press this exit button over here. Now obviously we want the program to terminate if we press the exit button, so we're going to define exactly that. Object.set default close operation, and we're going to pass a constant to it, jframe.exit on close. And this exit on close constant just tells this function here that when we press this close button, it's going to terminate. There are different constants available in the JFrame class which tells this close button to do different things, but we usually want to close or terminate when we click on this button over here, so I'm going to write exit on close. Now there's the cool feature of Windows is that we can resize the windows, so we can use this double-headed arrow here and we can resize it to any size we want to. My screen is lagging because my computer is slow, pardon me for that, but I can't help it. And in our windows or in our program, we can actually enable or disable this property. So we'll go ahead and disable this property. So object.set resizable, and we'll set it to false. And this basically tells the program that from now on the window is not going to be resizable. That is, this restore button, maximize restore button is going to be disabled, and it's not going to turn into a double-headed arrow if we take it to one of the corners, that is, or even the edges. Now the last thing we need to do for this program to work is we need to set the visibility of the frame to true. So we'll go ahead and do that as well. Object.set visible, and we'll set it to true. Now this is a very important step. If you don't write this, the frame will be present but it's going to be invisible, so you'll not be able to see it. So it's basically of no use to us. So this statement is of very high importance. Now these statements over here, these 4 statements, can be in any order they want to be. You want them to be rather. But this set visible statement should preferably be at the end of all these statements. I don't know exactly why this is so, but I've seen that if you put this set visible statement somewhere in the middle, sometimes it gives errors. So preferably this should be at the end. These 4 can be in any order they want to. That's all. Let's compile it. No syntax errors. One more thing, these may look like very big pieces of code to you, but after some time they'll become very easy to remember, and it's going to become quite obvious because the names of these functions are also quite obvious, right? Set size, set location, quite obvious names. However, I want to give you some tips on memorizing these pieces of code, and these tips are called naming conventions. Now if you know the naming conventions, it's going to become much easier for you later on. So I'll give you an idea on the naming conventions. The names of functions always start with a small letter. So the S in set size and set location and etc, all these functions are small, as you can see, and words thereafter start with capital letters. So size, location, relative all start with capital letters. Now for classes, the convention is the same, just the first letter instead of being a small letter is always a capital letter, and words thereafter start with capital letters as well. Constants, however, they are written in all caps, and different words are separated by underscores. So if you remember these 3 simple rules, it's going to make your life a heck lot easier. That done, let's run this code. And bear with me for the slow computer. Wait for it, and there you go. So we have, this is a new window, as the title of this window we have just created is exactly at the center of the screen. It's 500 pixels length by 300 pixels width, and it cannot be resized. As you can see, no double-headed arrow. Okay, and this maximize minimize button has been disabled, and if you press the close button here, it's going to terminate the program. So that's all for this video. One last thing, I write my programs in BlueJ. I know Anirudh uses Eclipse, and you can keep continuing using Eclipse if you want to. I use BlueJ for one simple reason, that is I don't have the habit of indexing my code. And as you can see in BlueJ, different parts of the code are in different colors, which makes it much easier for me as well as you to understand, I feel. So I'll continue writing my code in BlueJ, but you can do so in Eclipse if you want to. Because it's basically the same, just a few buttons are placed in different positions, and that's all. So that's all for today. See you next time.